had taken Tracy Sutton's gun from the burly drifter and returned it to her. She had tucked it from sight under her jumper. Now her hand stole toward it. "No need of that," said Wall harshly. "You're as safe here as if you were in your own home. You should know that. I'm no ogre." From all that I've heard, I could believe that you are," retorted the girl. "I've heard terrible things of you." Wall laughed mirthlessly. "Probably. A man in my place has many things told about him. A great many of them lies, and even the truthful things are seldom improved in the telling. Now you've the evidence of your own eyes. Maybe if you trust them, you'll hit closer to the truth than you know." Her eyes were accusing, her thoughts traveling their own line. "You're heading for Luke Lillevelt's Crimson Hills headquarters. Yes, that's where you're heading." Her lips scarcely moved, and her voice was very low. It was as though she were thinking aloud. "Yes, you're heading for the Crimson Hills. That means trouble. For Dad. I've heard him say so more than once. That the day Dave Wall rode into Crimson Hills, it would mean the start of a showdown between himself and Luke Lillevelt. It never seemed real to me. I never thought it would happen. But it has. You're here. You. Dave Wall." Wall writhed inwardly at the way she looked at him. He knew that along the back trail, in his service of Luke Lillevelt, he'd left hatreds that would never die. To some extent, he'd managed to shake off the regrets. It was all a part of the price he had to pay for doing the thing he'd set himself to do. To that realization he had hardened himself. But he could never harden himself to the aversion he now saw growing in this girl's clear eyes. Particularly this girl. It was like being whipped with a lash of fire. He broke silence on things he had virtually sworn to himself never to explain to anyone. "There may be some things you don't understand," he blurted huskily. "There are such things. Sometimes a man can't help himself. Sometimes he must do things under the whip of his own conscience and sense of honor. Sometimes he does things because the happiness and welfare of someone near and dear to him mean much more to him than does his own." All of which made no impression whatever on Tracy Sutton. She was as distant as the stars. "Where?" she asked coldly. "Can there be any conscience or sense of honor in doing Luke Lillevelt's dirty work? Or does he pay you so much money nothing else matters?" Her hand had been stealing under her jumper again. Now it flicked out, gripping that slim-nosed gun. The muzzle dropped in line with Dave Wall's heart. "I could kill you," she said steadily, "and no one would ever blame me." Wall had quieted, ironing back the gust of feeling that had swayed him. Now he was still and inscrutable again, his voice dryly impersonal. "That's right. You could. You could say that I rode into your camp and that you had to shoot me for one of 100 reasons you might cook up, any of which would be accepted as gospel and legitimate by plenty of people, all of which would dispose of Dave Wall very satisfactorily. But it still won't stop Luke Lillevelt from having his try at the Square S holdings, your father's ranch. Somewhere, somehow, Lillevelt would pick up another Dave Wall under another name. Probably he'd have to buy this new one with that big money you mentioned, which would hurt his miserly soul, of course, but which he'd do if he had to. And then you probably wouldn't be lucky enough to have a chance to shoot that one out here in the desert." His glance was direct, taciturn, and telling nothing. She met it for a long moment, then color stole across her face, and her hand and the gun in it fell to her side. Wall stood up and walked away. He was soon back, leading the girl's crippled mount. He had only to look, to feel the flinching quiver of that bad leg under gently kneading fingertips, to know that here was a pony that would not be carrying a rider again for some time. By itself, the horse could shuffle along after a fashion, but the weight of a saddle and rider would have the animal completely broken down inside a mile or two. While he worked with the horse, Wall could feel the girl's guarded glance. She had put away her gun.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.